road right there.
Oh, so, oh shoot, I'm sorry. I don't know. Oh, they are having a convoy. Guys, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all together. I thought they're all involved.
Well, they were probably all rolling together, and then the one wrecked.
Yes.
He went off the road for some reason. He might have had a blowout.
Yes. Alright, guys, sleep is very important. I know I had a hard time waking up this morning, guys. Oh my gosh, I still want to go to sleep. I felt my eyes. It was hard to feel my eyes. But since I got up, my eyes is wide open.
I know one thing Mom wanted to talk about is she gets a lot of messages from people saying they are interested in getting started driving truck.
Oh yes, yes, that's
they
right.
want to. How much does it cost? How long does it take? She has a couple of Filipino women that 2 or 3 of them recently asked, and
yes, God.
and a lot of times they don't know. They want to know what it incurs, the time, the cost, and a lot of times Mama plans on getting home and doing a video on that, and then we get busy with stuff, and our time always flies when we get home, and it seems like we're going back to work as soon as we got home. But one thing you want to do if you're if you want to start driving, if you want to get your CDL, you want to of course have your driver's license. Most companies want to see you driving, have a license for a couple years. Some are 3, some are 2. They want to see your history, your driving history for the last 2 to 3 years.
Alright, I'm moving back.
As far as if you're whatever state you're in, you want to Google, you can search any schools in your area, and you want to search any trucking companies in your area. Most of the companies that hire new drivers are over-the-road companies. So one is Stevens Transport out of Texas. You could give them a call. They have a school that they'll send you to. If you call, do an application. They'll check your background. They'll check your driving record. If everything's okay, they will send you to school. They'll send you to their school. They have one in Colorado, and they'll bus you out there. They give you a place to stay while you're there. They feed you while you're there. And you're there for 3 weeks, and you'll get your CDL from the school, and then they'll bus you to Stevens after that. They will pay for your school as long as once you get there, you sign an agreement that you're going to drive. At the time I was dealing with them, I believe it was 1 year. You had to be there 12 months.
You can go out.
And after you completed 12 months of employment, then you can
go somewhere else.
Then your school is paid for free and clear, and you can go somewhere else after that if you want. At the time I've trained for them, the students were making $350 a week, which was one of the lowest in the industry. I don't know if they're any higher now or not. I would think that they were probably around 500. I don't know. I can check that out. Another company is Prime Inc. out of Springfield, Missouri. They have a school on their facility. You can go to school there. They have rooms there. They'll feed you every day while you're there. They help you. You actually go with a trainer there, and for a certain amount of hours, I think it's maybe 10 days, and you drive with him, and he prepares you to actually get your temps to get your license. You have your temps,
Okay.
and he works with you for you to pass your license and get your CDL.
And you
then
make money at the same time,
and you
huh?
make money while you're doing it.
Awesome.
Then you go out with a trainer after that, and their training. I know when I was with them, they paid their students. They made anywhere from like $750 to $1,000 a week, because they got paid off of what they drove. So if you had a really good trainer that liked to hustle,
yeah,
you could make $1,000 a week or more with them. Those are two of them that I know of. I'm familiar with because I worked with them. There's other companies. If you're more challenged in getting hired, if you had a checkered past, if you're on probation, if you had any felonies, if you had a checkered driving history, the bigger companies that's like Swift. A lot of people have their jokes about Swift, but they're one of the bigger companies out there. They have like 17,000 trucks, so they have to keep ass in those seats. So they'll do, if you think you're going to be more challenging to be hired, then you want to pick out a company that's larger, that has more trucks, because they're more forgiving, and they'll overlook a lot of things if they really need you. So if you don't want to go to a company that pays for your school, you can go to like a Roadmaster. They're in a lot of, I know Warner bought them. I don't know how they are after Warner bought them, but
there's Great Lakes in Ohio.
There's Great Lakes in Ohio.
I don't know why.
You can look up truck driving schools in your area, wherever you live. Most of them are around $5,000 to $6,000. You can get a loan. They'll help you get a loan to pay for the school. There are schools out there that are $2,000, $2,400. But you really want to be careful with those companies. They're really fast. There are a lot of companies that are going to hire you as a brand new driver. They want you in a reputable school with a certificate, a school that they know trains the drivers good. They don't want a school that you paid $2,000, $2,400, and they took you around the block a couple times and smacked you on your bare ass and let you run. They're really not interested in that. So you want to be really careful if you get into a cheap school. If you have a certain place that you want to go work for, you need to call them and ask them, hey, do you accept this school? If I go to school through this schooling company and get my license, will you hire me? And they'll let you know. They'll say, no, we don't hire from that school. So just if you think you're getting a deal, you may not be, because you may have a CDL and you went through a school that has a lot of problems with those students, and nobody will hire you. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with where you're going and about saving money as far as what school you go to. So there's two different ways. Mama got a loan.
Yes,
she went to a Roadmaster out of Ohio. I think it was $5,000 if we paid cash. It was $6,900 if she wanted to pay payments. I think she pays $177 a month. Most of them are like that. If you go to a school like Roadmaster and you get a loan, and it's $200 a month, and it's $6,000, $7,000, whatever it is, and you go to like Stevens, they'll pay the whole bill. They'll pay, as long as you're driving for them, you turn your paperwork in, and they will pay your your $200 a month as long as you're working for them. I know Prime, they don't pay the whole thing. They pay a certain amount up to a certain time, which is, it usually equals out to about half your school, which is total bull crap. But I'm sure Swift, the bigger companies, I'm sure a lot of them will pay. But if you pay for your own school and you get a loan and you go to a company, don't just ask, do you do school reimbursement, tuition reimbursement? They'll just say, yeah. Make sure, well, what do you reimburse? Do you reimburse 100%? Do you reimburse a certain amount?
That's what it's like. Thank you.
You want to make sure, if you want your school 100% reimbursed, you want to ask that company wherever you go what their school reimbursement is, and make sure they are giving you all your money back. But you can get a CDL. You can start driving for as low as under $300, because
Guys, don't move over that close to a truck. Wait until I have enough room. I'm sorry.
Most of the schools that pay everything, that you go to their school and they'll feed you and give you room and board and everything while you're going to school. Most of them you still have to pay when you show up on that Greyhound. They're gonna want you to pay a $175, $250, $280. They're gonna want you to pay for your first physical, your first drug screen. They're gonna want you to at least pay that. So you can end up getting a job, getting schooling, getting everything paid for everything except for about $300 or less, if you find the right place. But they make you pay for this first screening and drug test, because there are a lot of people that show up,
don't qualify,
and they fail that first drug test. They think they know how to pass a drug test, and they'll smoke before they go, or they'll do their drugs before they go, and then they take so there's so many people that fail that they don't want to cover that first initial drug test or screening. And there's a lot of people that lie, that say they don't have felonies. They're hoping that they don't show up, so they stop paying for that. And that is the one cost that you are going to incur with most of the companies. And if you are in a state that it's legal for marijuana, if you live in Colorado, and you go to Dallas to work for Stevens Transport, that don't mean you're allowed to get high and smoke. Because I seen like a group of 7 guys all go to class. The next day they got put on a bus and sent back home, and they were getting high at the hotel out by the pool, and they failed their drug test, and their answer was, oh, well, we live in Denver, we live in Colorado, it's legal there. Well, it ain't legal it's legal to drink beer too, alcohol, but it's not legal to be in a truck and drink alcohol. So don't be a ding dong and think because you're in your, drugs are legal in your state, that you can go there with drugs in your system and pass a test, because you're allowed to have drugs in your state. Don't be that stupid. And all trucking companies test for every chemical, or every test, everything that they have out there that mask drugs, they test for that stuff. So they don't only test for drugs, they test for anything that'll cover up a drug test. 'Cause they don't want drivers that know how to pass drug tests. They want drivers that don't take drugs to at least long enough to get hired. If you can't stop doing drugs long enough to be hired, then they're not interested in that. So don't ruin And once you fail a DOT drug test, that's for life. You never have another chance again.
Right.
I guess they do consider life. What they say, Mom? Some of those things we read was 10-year. Even maybe after if you get a lifetime ban. Some places, some states, so if it's after 10 years, they'll give you another shot.
Yes, 10 years, then
if you get another one,
then it's lifetime.
Then it is lifetime. You can never do it again. But that's a little information we have on starting out. So you can have just $200-300 in your pocket. You can be broke. Most of the truck drivers at schools are broke. They're down on their luck. They just lost their 9th job in 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
The construction collapsed. The mortgage collapsed. That's what put me in the trucking business. I had a mortgage business in Florida, and when it collapsed in 2007, I needed to make some money. And I did some loans for some truck drivers that made some real good money. So I called them up and asked them what do I got to do? How do I make the money that you make? And I followed what they told me. And so a lot of people in the school, they're down on their luck. They don't have any money. They got the free bus ride there. They got their food vouchers. They're eating. You can go there with no money. You can be down on, as long as you have a good driving record and you don't do drugs. And you don't have any sex crimes.
Oh my gosh.
Most trucking companies, they don't want DUIs. Most of them will let you have one in your lifetime. A lot of them will rule you out if you have two. They don't want to see any drug charges. Like even if you had a felony and it was 10 years ago, if it's drugs, it's going to be really tough. Or they don't want to see any sex crimes. If you have any kind of sex charges, it's going to be really tough. But even with those, like I said, if you pick out a bigger company like a Swift, I don't know anything about JB Hunt. I know that Swift is the one that comes to mind. Like they're so big. They need so many drivers. They do some crazy stuff to put drivers in seats. So if I was a person that had a drug offense 20 years ago and a sex crime and a kidnapping charge, I'd probably go to
Oh my gosh.
I'd probably go to Swift. I probably wouldn't waste my time with anyone else, because if you have a shot, that's the place you're gonna have a shot at, because they have so many trucks they need to fill.
Right. Looks like it's about to rain.
It's about to rain. It looks pretty out there though. There's a lot of different colors out there. Mama was worried about it. It was brown back there in that one section, but
that's lots of information, sweetheart. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, guys. So if you have questions.
Yeah, but all you new people, if you Mama has a Facebook. What is your Facebook, Mama? The Peanut Trucker.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's Peanut Trucker USA.
Peanut Trucker USA. She has a Facebook on there. If you want, we have 3 different drivers that we talked to that's seen our videos that went to R&L. They're all starting this week. There's one in Florida, there's one in Phoenix,
Denver,
and there's one in Denver. And we want to try to get a picture of those guys with their truck when they send a little video to us, and we'll put them in a video together. But if you have any questions on R&L, if you want to know information on R&L, about the pay, about the benefits, about what the real deal is about R&L, you can. Mama talked to those people on Messenger, and they exchange numbers, and she'll talk to you guys right on the phone, and tell you whatever you want to know. And whatever we know, and we don't claim to be experts. We're
Yeah,
not.
we're not experts.
But we've been out here a while, and we have a little bit of not. We can tell you what we know, and
My honey
and
does.
sometimes that's helpful. I've been out here. I know I did a live. Mama woke me up to videotape one time, and I got my eyes were burning. I couldn't read nothing, and I was chatting, and I said that I was doing this almost 30 years. I don't know why. I said I've been doing it 13. This is my 13th year, and I trained for 10 years. I have over 200 students out there on the road, so I've been through a bit. I know a bit, and a lot of the ways you learn is by mistakes. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
those are the
that's
ones you
true.
don't forget. So we learned a lot out here, and we can share a lot.
Yes, guys.
But to those two drivers, I forgot what they said. The one said, "Oh, you got more years on me." I didn't mean. I went to say 13, and I said 30. But
That's all right.
I don't have that much time out here. But after training 200 students and over 2 million miles with students, and no accidents, and that'll
feels
put
like
30
it.
years on your life.
Oh my God.
I tell you that. Some of them students will put 10 years on your life. 6 weeks, you age 10 years. But
Yes, guys. My husband trained his son too. 2 sons. They're driving.
yeah, 2 of my sons
They're good
drive.
drivers, guys.
One of my sons has been. He's 26. One's 27. One's 24. They have a route together. They drive for R&L. They run out to Wisconsin from Norwalk, Ohio to Wisconsin, and Mama's.
One of my.
As soon as my kids got old enough to drive, I stopped training students. As soon as my oldest son got his license and he can drive, we started teaming up, and I just stopped training students. And I think that's probably why I'm alive now. I probably look like I'm 90, if I don't look 90 already.
You're still. No, you're not. You look 30, honey. No. Yes, guys. Thank you guys for watching us, for watching me drive here.
We'll do another one on R&L. We've been getting a lot of messages. Mama's been getting messages about R&L and you know, wanting to know some more information about them. But we'll do another video and about R&L, and we're gonna go now, I think, Mama.
Yep, thank you so much,
ready?
guys. I hope it's a big help. I mean, if not a big help, at least a help from whatever my husband shared, guys.
Yeah, Mama tries to keep up with this channel, and she does get a lot of messages, and she don't want anybody to be mad. She don't get back to them, but there are a lot of nice messages.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that sound like they really want it. She's not somebody that thinks she's better than anybody, or she don't want to give you information so you do better. She's not like that. She has a lot on her plate, and she tries to keep up with it.
Thank you.
And she likes to do everything. She don't like to delegate. She started delegating this week though, Monday. What date was that? I gotta write that down. Mama started delegating. She was pointing her fingers and telling me to do this and do that, and that's the first time I was put on blast like that. I was running all over the house doing all kinds of
That's
stuff.
why we're early.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, that's funny, guys.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you
we're
so
gonna get
much,
going
guys.
out. You guys wanted to see this road too out there. We're in Pennsylvania right now. We just left Pittston, Pennsylvania, and we're headed back to Norwalk, Ohio, and we'll be in Norwalk at about 2 o'clock.
2? Okay.
1 or 2, and then we'll be back in Hartford, Connecticut, about 11:30 midnight tonight.
Honey, I was losing my hat. That's where it was.
Uh-oh, there's Mama's hat up there. All right,
guys, thank
we're
you
gonna
so
get
much.
going. We'll shoot out something about R&L too with you drivers. If If you go to R&L, we'll put that on there. Make sure you say you know Mama, Norwalk Team 4.
Tell them, Mama. Me.
Norwalk Team 4 sent you. We don't know if they'll give Mama any chablitos for that, but probably not. They're if they can save 2 nickels, they'll hide them from you.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But all right, we gotta go.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Enjoy. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good day. Yeehaw! Woohoo! We're here. It's rolling time.
Yeehaw!
The sun is not out, but it's still